escort has not left yet, but the buses that are right outside of the Fargo Police Headquarters has been filled with police officers as well as loved ones. You can see they're all greeting each other on such a sad day, but it appears that everyone's spirit is still fairly high considering the circumstances. As you can see here, I'll kind of zoom in for you guys to kind of see what we have going. You can see several motorcycles that will also lead the motorcade here heading to Shields Arena. Now, there's also several onlookers that are just waiting for this escort to leave. There's several onlookers down there at the corner of 25th Street and First Avenue. I was actually chatting with a gentleman there. He says that he's part of a local, local steel group that created a specific sign specifically for this event. And also I noticed that folks across the street are also here as well. This is the steel plant right across the street. They came outside of the plant just to wait to see everything that is happening here. You can also see the fire truck just waiting for the escort to go by. It's been sitting there at the light just waiting for the action to get started. They're going to follow the lead, and as well as these police cars as well as the buses. As I mentioned, there are several people inside the buses already that are just waiting to head to Shields Arena. As we mentioned throughout this afternoon, that the celebration of life for Officer Jake Wallin does begin at 1 p.m. So they're getting ready to go. Hopefully they'll be moving out here soon. We'll be sticking around to kind of show you guys when they head out. But Stacy and Justin, I'll send it back to you in the studio. Deshae Taylor reporting live.
All right, thanks, Deshae.
Yeah, maybe we'll check in again in a little bit and see if we can get that procession rolling.
Yeah.
So you see people already out there waiting. That procession, they're going to get on 94, they're going to take the 45th Street exit and then turn on 32nd, which will get them to Shields Arena. So if you're around the area and you want to come out and watch too, that's encouraged.
We've seen so many people come out for the procession on the way to the funeral over the weekend, and of course we saw the big scene when Officer Wallin died, the lights on, everything that came down I-94, which was an amazing scene.
The signs, the handwritten notes, and it's just
Unity
incredible.
there.
Yeah. Well, now we do have a look inside Shields Arena. Granted, nothing has started yet. It's starting at 1 o'clock, but doors opened at 11. So people are filing into Shields Arena. Here's a live look now, so you can see kind of what the setup is going to be today.
So again, this is still an hour and 12 minutes away, but the crowd is already starting to file in. They've been encouraging people to come early, get a spot, to carpool if they can. We're expecting a pretty large crowd. No kind of numbers we're going to get there. But the funeral event over the weekend, again, was in Pequot Lakes. That was a couple hours away. It was harder for people to get to. It was mostly a family, police officer, military event. This is for the whole community to come and show support. And we are expecting that, especially with how much support we've seen across the community over the last couple of weeks, that this could be a very large event.
It looks like a beautiful setup they've got there. Some cruisers along with it. Just looks like a lot of floral arrangements there for Jake Wallin. It's safe to assume a lot of people probably aren't going in yet, waiting for that procession to come to show their support outside the arena.
And it's very hot outside too. People, I can't imagine, be staying outside very long, waiting to get in. We got this first look about an hour ago at the program, showing what today's celebration of life will look like.
Yeah, it's a mix of presentations and speakers, including Jake's friends and family, along with local political leaders. As
people process in, they'll hear music from the FM Symphony Orchestra. Former U.S. Senator from North Dakota Heidi Heitkamp will be the MC and the first speaker, followed by a presentation of colors and the Regional Honor Guard, and then an opening prayer by the Fargo Police Chaplain.
There's also going to be a video presentation planned showcasing Jake's call to service, followed by a number of speakers. Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski, Governor Doug Burgum is set to speak today, and Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney. After that, the band Slamabama is set to perform John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads. Then North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley, we've heard from him a lot. He spoke during the investigation news conferences on Wednesday and Friday. He will speak. And then something we have not heard from since this happened, Jake's own father, Jeff Wallin, will talk. That is sure to be an emotional several minutes, I imagine, reflecting on that. We've seen so many images of him already, and in that video, if you recall, of Jeff was the one pinning the badge on Jake, so very involved, I'm sure. That'll be emotional. We heard from Jake Wallin's aunt. Yes. During the funeral, and that was emotional. It was. So we'll hear from her in a minute or two. Yeah. After that, one of Jake's fellow officers, Officer Ian Christian, will speak, along with another video presentation, and then the closing prayer with the chaplain, closing remarks, again by Senator Heitkamp. They'll wrap things up with a rendition of Taps, a retiring of the colors, and then the recession out. And we'll bring all of you that live.
Now, U.S. Senators John Hoeven and Kevin Cramer can't be there today because of work in Washington as lawmakers, but they both recognized Officer Wallin on the U.S. Senate floor yesterday.
Yeah, we have the links to that on our website if you want to check out both speeches. It was very emotional. Again, just over an hour from the start of today's service. Doors opened at 11. We know people are starting to file in there.
Again, expect to be a big crowd. Fairly limited parking. They have been encouraging people to carpool. Security also tight.
Yes.
No bags of any kind allowed inside, including no clear bags, which is a change from their usual policy.
Yes, even small purses, anything. They're saying absolutely no bags.
No.
Know that before you head down there. This is the second service, as we've said, for fallen officer Jake Wallin. This past Saturday in Pequot Lakes, Minnesota was the first. Thousands came out there to show their support and respect for Officer Wallin's service. In this video you're looking at, you can see a horse-drawn carriage carrying a coffin. This is traditionally done for military honors, as Officer Wallin served in the Minnesota Army National Guard. So
young to have so much military experience on top of his time now in Fargo PD. There's also a video, the thousands of people that came in to show their support on Saturday. Along the route as well, and here's just outside. Some of the people can't even get in because it was a semi-private event, but just wanted to come and know that they were there to support Fargo Police. Officer Wallin, there's some veterans who came out to show support with their American flags. Hundreds of law enforcement agencies from all across the country came to the funeral on Saturday. Our team was there. They saw officers from Montana, Nebraska, and then, of course, all the surrounding agencies throughout North Dakota and Minnesota as well. So just an amazing show of support for Officer Wallin and the Fargo police community.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. Many driving hours knowing they couldn't get inside,
yes.
just to be part of it. We know how proud Jake Wallin was to be a Fargo police officer. He was cremated in his FPD uniform.
At the funeral on Saturday, his aunt, Jody Wallin, spoke very eloquently about his passion for his job, his childhood, saying he's always been ahead of his time, responsible, a loyal defender.
I remember him as a small boy. With his little arms wrapped so tightly around my neck, burying his face into me to try to avoid the fireworks that he hated so much at that age. From that timid small boy, he grew to be a driven, ambitious, brave young man.
She told a story that I think stuck with a lot of us too, where she said he had just bought his first home for him and his fiance, and he went out immediately and bought a lawnmower and went home and mowed the lawn.
It's been nice and heartbreaking to hear some of the personal sides, because he's kind of a symbol right now for people's support for the Fargo police community and preventing the disaster that could have happened. But now I mean, you see him more as a person now too, and hear from his family and his friends.
We spoke to one woman at 5:45 in the morning Saturday before that funeral, all the people gathering for that early, and she said, we see him as a savior.
Yes.
And that it was very emotional, and I think a lot of people are feeling that.
Police Chief Dave Zabolski has spoken a few times. He paid his respects on Saturday. We're expecting to hear from him again today as well.
Jake, you'll never be forgotten. While your time was short, your impact was immense. Take solace in the knowledge that your actions saved lives and will forever be remembered as making a difference.
So there's a look there at the funeral Saturday. We're going to take another live look at what's going on at Shields Arena. In just about an hour now, we're going to get started with the celebration of life. Again,
people are slowly filing in. We're still about an hour away. A large crowd expected. You see the look they have inside there, trying to find you see the stage kind of set up on the one side of where the hockey rink would be, the big American flag behind it. You see is Officer Wallin's name there up on the kind of like a big screen there, it looks like, and his picture up on the Jumbotron type effect there. So it's going to be a big crowd. It's still very early, but we're expecting a big one there today.
Yeah, they're again saying carpool if you can. I mean, you can see there's space for a lot of people, but
there is.
Also,
parking is limited on the outside.
Yes.
There's only allowing one entrance in,
yep.
which makes a difference as far as getting in. It's going to take some time to filter everybody through, and again, they're being very tight on security with the no bags and the no flowers, encourage people to bring cards. So it might take a little while to filter everybody into the arena.
That's true. If you had flowers, they said take them to FPD headquarters maybe at some point later today, but please don't bring them to the arena. That might slow things down a little more. Back the Blue has been the theme in the Fargo-Moorhead area for the past week. The event giving away blue light bulbs raised thousands of dollars in just 2 days for the families of the officers involved in the tragedy. It was all building up to the idea of lighting the town blue. This is video from last Friday, and you can see there the community took it seriously. It was mentioned multiple times in previous press conferences how much the support has been noticed by law enforcement, and it helped them to get through these dark days.
We are still waiting for the Fargo Police procession on the way to the funeral or the celebration of life today. Nisha Taylor was out there to getting ready for that. They're gathering, meeting their loved ones, getting in their buses, getting in their cars to get ready for that type of drive over there. We're still about an hour away from that. We'll get you out there as soon as we can.
That was supposed to get started at about 11:45, maybe running a
About
little
10
behind,
minutes ago.
but that's going to be quite a sight. Again, the route, they're going to take 94 down the 45th Street exit and then down 32nd to get to Shields Arena, and you're encouraged to go out. I know a lot of people already did that on Saturday early in the morning.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have those signs and the flags, and go ahead and go out and show your support for that procession. It's going to start soon.
People are just trying to find ways to give and show their support right now, whether it's those blue lights, whether it's their signs, whether it's coming out and going out of their way. Again, we show how early Saturday the funeral was.
Yeah.
The procession started before 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
but there were people out along the way, in Fargo especially, which means they were out there even earlier to come out and show their support. So it's been a very important cause for many people in the community.
It's touching to see, and we're looking live now at the procession just getting started. We're going to let you watch for a minute.
All right, so you can see this is a little different than the processions we've seen both when Officer Wallin died and then again over the weekend ahead of the funeral. There's many people out to show support, not the huge group of police cruisers with lights on, police filing into buses for the most part, led by some motorcycles, as they all still go, though, to show pay their respects and show their support for Officer Wallin.
There they go. They're on their way. And that group you just saw there, taking their hats off as they drive by and hand over the heart. It's emotional to see, and hopefully they get that support throughout the rest of the route. We'll show you a little bit of a different angle here coming up.
We're hoping to hear from, we've been told we might hear today, from the other officers involved in the shooting. Officers Dotis and Hawes, we've been told last time we were in the hospital they had stood up on their own just a few days ago. Chief Zabolski passed along messages from them during the funeral on Saturday. We may hear something like that. We may hear a pre-recorded video message. We're not sure. But the fact that they are maybe capable of that, that would be a good sign.
Yeah.
If you're just now joining us on Fargo CW, we are in live special coverage of everything leading up to the celebration of life for fallen Fargo police officer Jake Wallin. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacy Van Dyke. Officer Jake Wallin was shot and killed along 25th Street South in Fargo on July 14th when they were ambushed while responding to a traffic crash.
Wallin, along with those two other officers you just saw, Officers Andrew Dotis and Officer Tyler Hawes, were shot. Officer Dotis and Officer Hawes are recovering at Sanford here in Fargo. Again, we got word just a couple days ago they were able to stand up for the first time since the shooting, and we may hear from them as part of that celebration of life today. The other officer you see on the screen, the right side of your screen, Officer Zach Robinson, the incredible hero of this whole scenario, horribly outgunned at the time, but managed to take down the shooter and prevent what could have been just an absolute catastrophe for the city.
Yeah, truly a hero, all of them. As we've showed you, a bittersweet tribute at Fargo Police Headquarters. Police released this video last week showing the inscription of Officer Jake Wallin's name onto the FPD Heroes Wall. That Heroes Wall at Fargo Police Headquarters is right near the front entrance as you walk in. Wallin's name joins that of Officer Jason Mosier, who died of a gunshot wound back in 2016 while responding to a domestic incident in North Fargo. The only other name on that wall is from the 1800s. Officer Frederick Alderman was shot in 1882 as he attempted to track a man who used stolen property to pay a fine. Wallin's name has also been added to every Fargo police cruiser in the fleet.
Gives you indication how rare, fortunately, these situations are. We're about 50 minutes away from the celebration of life for Officer Jake Wallin. And many in the community have been finding ways to show support throughout the day as well.
Yeah, Sandy's Donuts came up with like a thin blue line donut. They sold out yesterday. They were selling them again today. Safe to assume they probably sold out again. Sweet Shots, we also just learned, in Fargo is announcing they'll be holding a Swing for Support event to benefit Fargo Police tomorrow.
That's all day, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Half the money raised from gameplay at Sweet Shots we donated to the Leadership Care Fund, which helps our officers through medical emergencies or other life-threatening events. Here's a look as well at those donuts. Again, they're being sold today at Sandy's and yesterday, raising plenty of money as well.
And here's one of many companies that have made shirts to support the cause. A Dilworth business working to raise money for Fargo Police. Just Screen It is running a special. You can order Back the Blue shirts for $30. 100% of those proceeds are going to the Leadership Care Fund. If you're interested in putting in an order, we have the link to do so right on our website, valleynewslive.com.
Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski says another way you can show support for the department is by grabbing a wristband they're making. They say, "We are Fargo PD," just like you see here on your screen. Officials say they were created specifically to help get people through this tragic event. The wristbands aren't ready quite yet. We are hoping to know more soon on when and where you can pick these up.
Those official wristbands, right?
Those
We're
are the
seeing some other
official
ones.
We've seen
pop
some other
up.
support,
Yeah.
yes. Many
Which is
people
great.
many businesses. We're just mentioning the ones that we're aware of and we have video of, but there have been any place you look on Facebook, businesses are finding some way to show support.
It's beautiful to see. We're going to take you back out live to Shields Arena now. Let's take a look inside. In less than an hour now is the celebration of life for Officer Jake Wallin.
We're expecting a large crowd there today. No idea on numbers, probably a few thousand. You see all the seats there in the middle, and then also on the sides where you normally sit for the Fargo Force games. The procession, of course, is on their way there too. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. Oh, here's I-94 we're looking at. This is our sky cam. Again, it's not the same type of procession we saw when Officer Wallin died, but there is a procession from police headquarters, several buses taking officers from there, led by some motorcycles, giving it more of an official feel, a ceremonial feel. There's the buses here, right side of your screen. They're on their way to Shields Arena right now.
It's heavy to watch that, it really is. And that original procession that Justin's referring to, if you remember, that's the video where it was dark. It was pitch black outside, and all you could see was the red and blue lights. And we have that up on our website. It's just beautiful.
They led that procession as well now almost 2 weeks ago when Officer Wallin died, when they're all outside Sanford. They had all their lights on. That was an incredible scene. We had a reporter there as well.
All right, we're going to take a quick break now. Forecaster Shelby Ebertowski will be in with a quick check of your weather in just a few minutes.
We'll also have much more previewing today's celebration of life for Officer Wallin. Stick around.
Thank you so much for sticking with us here at Valley News Live, as we do have a heavy heart today here in Fargo, but otherwise we do also have a first alert weather day for that hot humidity, and we also have a chance of some severe storms. Now here in Fargo, that temperature is already at 86 degrees, but we do have a heat index of 94 already just at your lunchtime, with that humidity at 67%. Now most of us are starting to feel that heat, with most of us already in those 80s, a few of us even in the 90s at Bismarck at 91 as well as Oaks, but other areas in central North Dakota are still a little cooler, with Minot at 79 degrees. Now, like I said, we do have a little bit of a heat index. Most of us are already feeling like it is in those 90s. Langdon feels like 96, Grand Forks feels like 92, and even Detroit Lakes feels like 90. And it is also going to be muggy today with that high dew point temperature, with areas like Langdon having that dew point temperature at 82 degrees. So with this, it is also going to feel humid and muggy. So remember that. Now, it is also going to have those clear skies for most of the day today, as we do currently. And we also are tracking some scattered showers throughout the day today, but yesterday we had those thunderstorms, especially we had two different areas, up in the Northern Valley and in the Southern Valley. In the Northern Valley, we had areas like Drayton, North Dakota, get accumulation of rain just over 5 inches, and you can see that in this red area. Now other areas like in Thief River, where you had that yellow, you had areas from 2 inches, and in Grand Forks you just had 0.7 of an inch, just under an inch. Here in Fargo we had a 1/10. Areas like Wheaton had 3.8 inches, and even Alexandria, where you're once again seeing that orange areas, had that 3 inches. Now throughout the next couple hours, we do continue to have those clear skies, and that heat is going to stick around today. It is going to be hot, humid, and we're going to be near that record here in Fargo. But otherwise, those clear skies are going to stick around throughout the day today. And by tonight, we do get another chance of some showers. Now, this is going to be mostly in the Southern Valley, unlike yesterday where we had some in the Northern Valley. And that is going to be near that Highway 2 area. But those temperatures are still going to be warm, so we will still stick around with those muggy conditions. Now, those showers will continue to move throughout the rest of the overnight hours after midnight. Now, this will be near that Fosston area, stretching from that Highway 2 corridor down through Highway 10 in Minnesota. And that's going to have some stronger storms as well. Now, I'll continue to update you on the timing and track of these storms through the VNL weather app, but otherwise, Justin, Stacy, will get back to you guys with that with those breaking news and the tribute to Officer Wallin.
All right, Shelby, thanks so much.
We're now about 50 minutes away from the celebration of life for fallen officer Jake Wallin. It's happening today at 1 o'clock at Shields Arena in Fargo.
Yeah, important to remember that heat if you're heading out there.
Oh,
Valley News team Zoe Jones live for us near Shields Arena now, where Fargo police officers are starting to arrive. Zoe?
Stacey, that's right. I'm on 45th Street right now. I'm watching the procession. We've got a huge crowd of people with us. I'm going to step out of the way so you guys can see it as they're getting ready to make their way into Shields Arena. Just an absolutely touching moment to see everybody here. I think they are all good now. They are headed to Shields Arena. We will be sure to continue our coverage. We'll check back in with you guys in just a few minutes, but for the time being, reporting in Fargo, Zoe Jones, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Zoe. If you are not going to or if you are going to the event today, you can follow along with the program. There's a QR code we're going to show you here in just a second, which you can get your phone ready, take a picture of that QR code. We also have a link to it on valleynewslive.com, and you can follow along with the speakers today.
Yeah, you can see it right on our page. There's also a place there where you can send, there you go, there's the QR code. So if you grab your phone and scan that, you can go straight to the page. We also have the link on our website in case that's not working for you. And this is going to be up for people who are at the celebration of life too. So in real time, they can scan that code and send messages to the family, messages of support, digital messages. That's such a neat way to do that.
That's a great way of doing that. If you're heading to the service today, again, you're encouraged to arrive early. You see, it's not full yet, but it's expected to get full. It might take a while to get in. Doors are, security is tight. Doors open at 11 this morning, and no backpacks allowed, no purses, no even clear bags allowed inside. So it will be a little while to get everyone filtered in.
The YMCA also offering free childcare to first responders who are attending today's event. Childcare offered for all ages from 12 to 4 today at both YMCA locations. If you're interested in getting one of those free spots, you can call the YMCA. We posted all that information and the number on our website. It's 701-29. Sorry, we passed it there. No worries. 293-9622. That was very neat to see from Zoe's angle. That's them getting to Shields Arena. She was right near the turn, and you could see the little boy there waving as the cars go by. That's an image we've seen in every procession, is children going out and understanding how important this is.
Countless people. And again, every time they've done this, every procession they've been, people have come out to support no matter what they're doing, any time of day, early morning, midday, work hours, doesn't matter.
Yes.
People have come out to show their support. When we come back, we'll have more previewing today's celebration of life for Officer Wallin. Welcome back. We're now about 45 minutes away from the Celebration of Life event at Shields Arena for fallen Fargo police officer Jake Wallin.
Yeah, and just about an hour ago, we got a first look at the program showing exactly what today's Celebration of Life will look like.
Yeah, it's a mix of presentations and speakers, including Jake's friends and family, who we haven't heard from yet for the most part, along with some local political leaders. As people procession, they'll hear music from the FM Symphony Orchestra.
Former U.S. Senator from North Dakota Heidi Heitkamp will be the MC and the first speaker, followed by a presentation of colors by the Regional Honor Guard and an opening prayer by the Fargo Police Chaplain.
There's then a video presentation planned showcasing Jake's call to service. We've seen stuff like that before, his kind of his entry video when he just joined the force a few months ago, followed by a number of speakers. Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski, who we've heard from a few times, Governor Doug Burgum will speak on the matter for the first time, and Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney.
After that, the band Slamabama set to perform John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads. Then North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley, who spoke during the news conferences last week, and then Jake's father is set to speak, Jeff Wallin. That's
going to be emotional. I'm sure we haven't heard from him yet since Jake's passing. After that, one of Jake's fellow officers, Officer Ian Christian, will speak along with another video presentation. Then there'll be the closing prayer with the chaplain and closing remarks by Senator Heitkamp.
They will then wrap things up with a rendition of Taps, a retiring of the colors, and then the recession out.
U.S. Senators John Hoeven and Kevin Cramer can't be there today. They're working in Washington, but they both recognized Officer Wallin on the floor of the U.S. Senate yesterday.
And we posted the links to both of their full speeches if you'd like to head to our app or website and check that out. If you're heading there this afternoon to Shields Arena, you're encouraged to go now. Arrive early. Doors are open now. They opened at 11 this morning. It's also important to note no backpacks, no purses, no bags, not even clear bags are allowed inside the arena.
The YMCA is offering free childcare to first responders so that they can attend today's event without worrying about that. Childcare will be offered for all ages from 12 until 4 at both of the YMCA locations in Fargo. If you're interested in reserving a free spot, you're asked to contact a YMCA member at their service desk, 701-293-9622.
That's a beautiful thing to do. We heard from them yesterday. They said their team just joined together and were brainstorming, what can we do? How can we help? And we've seen that from businesses all across the FM area.
That way their families can go to where both are watching kids, wives and such.
Yeah, we've posted that event program that you just saw to our website, as well as this QR code and the link to send digital condolences to the Wallin family. It's available through that code for anyone who's actually attending this afternoon. And if you'd like to share a message with the family, you can do that right now. Just scan this code or click the link on your app or valleynewslive.com. The link we have on the website is called Details for Jake Wallin's Celebration of Life event. You can find the link right in that story.
I know many people have been looking to show support for police any way they can. That's why you can contact the family directly and show your support. We'll continue our coverage previewing today's celebration of life for Officer Wallin after this quick break. We're just under 40 minutes away now from the start of the Celebration of Life event for fallen police officer Jake Wallin at Shields Arena in Fargo.
Valley News Team's Zoe Jones is live at Shields Arena where the community has been lining up to pay their respects. Zoe.
Stacey, Justin, that's right. I'm outside of Shields Arena right now. We just watched the procession come to this area. We've seen a few other people start to show up. If you check out over here, this is where Shields Arena is. We've got officers from all over here today to show their support. We've got a huge amount of community members as well, just there's just not enough words to explain the kind of support that we've seen today as people are starting to come in to be here for that celebration of life for that fallen officer, Jake Wallin. We're hearing from several individuals today, including Governor Doug Burgum. We're very excited to hear what he has to say regarding it, as well as Drew Wrigley, who has spoke a couple times regarding the entire situation. But we're going to continue our coverage throughout the celebration of life as more people start to arrive. So for the time being, reporting at Shields Arena, Zoe Jones, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Zoe. Today really is the community's turn. The families have their private events now at the funeral and then the burial ceremony. So this is the community's chance now, without intruding too much, to come out and show their support at a big event like this.
Yeah, and it seems like people are. They were encouraging carpooling, and it looks like that parking lot was filling up already 40 minutes before the event. If you're looking for another way to show your support for the Fargo Police Department, they say meals, drinks, anything can be brought to the police station at 105 25th Street North. Just pick up the phone there and tell them what you've brought, and then someone will come meet you.
In the last week, the community has raised nearly $100,000 for the injured officers in the shooting from now almost 2 weeks ago. Officers Andrew Dotis and Tyler Hawes through GoFundMes. We're expecting to hear from those officers in some way, shape, or form at today's Celebration of Life event as well.
Yeah, that would be just wonderful. The Fargo Police Department has set up the Leadership Care Fund to help the officers and their families. If you're interested in donating, you can find that link right on our website, valleynewslive.com.
That's an ongoing thing besides or just this event. That one will keep going so that other officers who have medical emergencies can be benefiting as well. Sweet Shots in Fargo showing their support. They're holding a Swing for Support event tomorrow. That's all day at Sweet Shots, 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. They're offering 50% of the day's gameplay. Half of the money raised will be donated to the Leadership Care Fund for those police officers.
Yeah, they just announced that a couple hours ago. These events just coming out of the woodwork, and they're
Yes.
wonderful. Everyone
Yes.
putting their just brain power into trying to help. It's a beautiful thing to see. Shelby Ebertowski will return with one last check of your weather right after this quick break.
We do have that chance of some stronger and severe storms today with that marginal risk for most of the valley, but it's also going to be a hot one with temperatures jumping into those mid to upper 90s and even 100 degrees here in Fargo with a heat index of 106. Now, throughout the next 11 days, temperatures do dip into those 80s as we get closer to the weekend with more chances of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially on Sunday and into Monday. But then our next chance of some thunderstorms are going to be Wednesday and Thursday. But overall, starting off for our first week of August, things do quiet down. We just have to get through the first alert weather day today with that heat and the storms, and then otherwise into those 90s and 80s as we head into the weekend. Justin, Stacy.
Thanks, Shelby, and thanks for joining us here at noon. The celebration of life will start at 1 o'clock. We're expecting to hear from Officer Jake Wallin's father, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and many more.
And we'll be streaming that event, of course, right here on Valley News Live on air, as well as valleynewslive.com and our VNL Facebook page. We'll see you soon.